This is John Wade, WNN. We have very little information at the present time, just the discovery of a suspicious-looking package.
Well,
a scenario
almost clear, sir. Don't know why we're bothered, though. Bunch of bloody fascists. Policemen do not have political opinions, Jones. Move them. Behind the line. But if you want mine, I happen to think Winston Ross and his new National Party have got some damn good ideas. Who let that idiot through? Just what we need. Motto, MI6. Cold War warrior without a Cold War.
So, you don't think this one's the IRA?
No. Wrong password. One mystery bomb attack after another. This has got to be something far bigger than just homegrown terrorism. I don't like to say this, Harry, but it looks as if your theory may be right.
Ah, it's not my theory. It's my big brother Drew's. He's the conspiracy expert, which is why, if it's okay with you, I want to bring him over from Washington.
Fine with me. We're going to need all the expertise we can get.
And if Drew's right and these bombings are part of some global conspiracy, well, wouldn't be the first time that a bunch of maniacs wanted to rule the world, would it?
Commander! How's it going? It's all right. He's with me.
Hi, Harry Latham, Consular Liaison, U.S. Embassy.
Good day. We've isolated the device, but it's still hot. Just getting the last few out now, sir.
Any sign of Ross?
Well, speaking of the devil, is the man himself. Frank. 15% in the last opinion polls and still climbing. It's bombs people are afraid of, not him. Minor ramage, sir. Sorry about all this, but we can't take any chances.
Well, this is all very disruptive. You people seem to be chasing your tails. It's time you caught these terrorists.
We're doing our best, sir.
Well, we'd be grateful if you'd retire to a safe distance.
Look, let's keep things simple on this, shall we? Your people, my people. I'll sort things out with Ramage's department.
Well, we're back to honor among spies. No one has to know what we're up to but us.
Why not? We worked in the past, and we won.
Feeble institutional democracy made sense at the time of the American Revolution. These days, people are frightened. They are happy to give up their individual rights for protection. They want walls to insulate themselves from foreigners. The new National Party will give this country a new chance. A chance to rid ourselves of these animals who threaten our freedom.
Watch out for secondary explosions! Clear the area! Damn it! Semtex! 10 kilos, just like the others.
What are you going to do something about these anarchists?
Mr. Ross, we're doing everything humanly possible at this stage, but we're dealing with a technically sophisticated group.
Using unsophisticated techniques! Track down with more force! Bring in the military! Restore law and order!
Very sophisticated. Next thing you'll be demanding we shoot all suspects on sight.
That's right.
Throw everyone else into prison.
And he would if he thought it would help him in the popularity polls, because people like him thrive on public paranoia.
Well, there's certainly plenty of that around. With half the world grinding to a halt from terror campaigns like this.
Now, but see, it's all part of the big plan. Now, that's my brother's theory.
Yeah, well, maybe. But he's right. It is conspiracy. What I'd like to know is who's financing all this.
Yeah, but you see, I have a theory for that.
You mustn't forget there's an interesting little bonus to all this.
What's that, sir?
The building's insured.
These animals who threaten our freedom.
It's the first time Winston Ross, leader of the new National Party, has been the target of such an attack. The party headquarters appear to be evacuated, and it is rumored that he was the last person to be escorted out.
Congratulations, Ross. I see everything went exactly as planned. That should keep Her Majesty's government preoccupied for a while. However, there is still plenty more to do.
Does the name Alexander Lassiter mean anything to you?
Lassiter, a rather shady arms dealer, isn't he?
I happen to know he's been contacted by the WG Corporation.
Chemicals giant.
along with most of the contents of your medicine cabinet, also manufactures Semtex. It's my guess that they're the front behind the conspiracy money they were looking for. It seems their Central European division has ordered 6 Russian SA-7 surface-to-air missiles.
How did you find that out?
Easy. Alexander Lassiter is me.
Cigarette?
No, thanks.
Does it bother you, Herr Lassiter?
No, it's fine. I'll just vent the smoke. What you got here, Herr Kroger?
Thank you. Please.
Peter. Danke sehr.
Tools of the trade. Not loaded.
Herr Lassiter. Welcome.
Ulrich von Schnabel.
Good to finally meet you.
Pleasure's all mine. And please sit down.
You?
I trust you had a pleasant trip.
I did, yes, thank you. It's very beautiful. And I have something to show you. Just what you ordered. I can get you 6, and I can promise delivery in 10 days.
Excellent.
Now, they cost me $2 million each, but this time, I'm prepared not to take a profit.
That's very generous. And now I have something to show you. Herr Latham.
I think I look better without glasses, don't you? Well, I guess this means no sale.
No, no, no. I'm in the mood to buy something. How much would I have to pay for you?
A fortune.
I'm a man of many fortunes, Herr Latham.
Well, maybe so, but not for sale.
Don't be ridiculous. We're not alone. How far do you think you'll get?
Let's find out. I want the list of all the people in the world you're buying off. Everyone. I want the payroll.
Scrum.
Give me the disc.
Back. Open the door. Drive. Ah.
And these are not
random events. I want you to set aside your skepticism and look at all the evidence pointing to the fact that these neo-Nazis are organizing on a global level. When I hand you back to Wes Sorensen, head of our CIA ops in Europe. Wes?
Thank you, Drew. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks to Drew Latham here, my information from the U.S. is kept up to date. Clive?
Mr. Latham, how do you reconcile the fact that the most recent act of terrorism was directed at the New National Party, an organization sympathetic to the very people you say are behind this whole campaign?
Well, what better way to put us off their trail?
Heinrich?
Do you have any knowledge of these bombers' specific long-range intentions?
We'll be able to answer that question more accurately within the next 24 hours when one of our operatives returns from a mission in Central Europe.
But I'd like to add that if the theory is right, their plans are not just imminent, they're apocalyptic.
Is this going to work, Dr. Troutman?
Of course.
Latham has many years' experience as a field agent. He's been trained to resist this sort of process.
He has learned to resist processes that are known. This is completely original.
Observe, please, Herr President.
This monitors the blood supply to various parts of the brain. Thus, we are able to measure mental activity. Memory is located here, in the limbic system. Blue, indicating minimal activity, the effect of the drugs.
This is very interesting.
May I remind you that the leader himself has sanctioned this operation?
Then get on with it!
Come, come. Watch, please. The limbic system is now active, as indicated by the color red. All images in his memory will now be replaced by our reenactment of events. From the moment when he saw the photograph until he wakes up in his hotel. From that moment on, he will believe that all these simulated sights, sounds, and actions really happened to him.
How far do you think you'll get?
Let's find out.
I want the list of all the people in the world you're buying off. Everyone. I want the payroll.
He's got it.
Open the door.
He thinks he's made a clean getaway. He is exhausted, ready to sleep.
Is the effect permanent?
In this case, I don't think so. As you say, he has been highly trained.
How long will it last?
Oh, a few days. Enough for our purposes.
And then what?
Headaches, increasingly severe. Internal contusions leading to blackouts from which, ultimately, it is impossible to recover. Harry,
You have managed to escape with our most sensitive information. You will return and convince your colleagues of your success.
Wes, you look happy. Bad news?
It's your brother Harry. He's made a major breakthrough, doing it 1500.
I told you it wouldn't take him long.
You know Colonel Wachowski here, head of security?
Drew Latham.
Drew? He's coming in on this with us. So is Karen DeVries. We pulled in from Paris first thing this morning.
DeVries, that sounds familiar.
Her husband was Frederick DeVries. They worked with Harry in Berlin before the wall came down.
Too bad he never lived to see it. He was killed by the Stasi, the East German secret police.
Harry did talk about him, said he was a good agent.
He was the best we ever had.
Her husband's death made Karen more committed than ever.
What does that mean?
It means stay out of her way.
Yes, I know where the WG complex is on the map, but I need live satellite recon images or I'm wasting my time. Thank you. Morning, Wes.
Good to see you again, Karen. Drew Latham.
Ah, the famous big brother. Harry talked about you.
He kept very quiet about you.
He's far too professional to discuss his work. Welcome to London.
Welcome yourself. I'm looking forward to working with you.
I'm afraid that may not be possible. Well, I mean, no offense, but you're hardly familiar with our European operations.
Well, I'm coming up to speed as quickly as possible.
I'm sure you are, but it may not be quick enough. Nice to meet you.
Looking good, man.
You're a little bit tired.
Yes, Mr. Mustang.
You like it?
Yeah.
You been saving the world again?
That's it, now it's your turn.
Good to have you back.
Yeah.
Now, let's get to the brief.
Oh, not now.
The rest of the wicked, Harry? Now, is this the big surprise you've got for us?
Yeah, there you go.
How'd you get it?
Well, he took a little convincing, but Von Schnappe finally saw things my way.
What's on it?
Well, it's what I was after, the payroll. It's a list of all the people they're buying off, but it needs decoding.
I'll get Karen DeVries to handle that.
Wait, Karen's working on this?
Yeah. How come you never told me about her?
No, because she, brother, is what is known as access forbidden, off limits. Don't even dream about it.
I hear you. After you.
Wait, you hear me?
I do.
No, go ahead. After you.
After you.
Yes, I appreciate your situation, but I am under increased pressure from the State Department on this neo-Nazi business. Yes. Yes. I understand. Yeah, but I'm still not getting the information that I need from your department. Now, why is that, I wonder? Well, maybe you should change your priorities and do what I requested.
Witkowski?
Yeah. Oh, those bunch of knuckle draggers behind locked doors. They think of me merely as a figurehead. Good only for attending state functions, going to charity luncheons, and shaking countless hands.
Don't let them get to you, darling.
I won't. So how was your Royal Opera benefit?
Wonderful. The prince sends his regards.
Really? No doubt you charmed him completely.
Of course. He's only a man.
Like me.
Except you're my man. My ambassador husband. And I love you.
Hey, Karen. Thanks for returning my calls.
Just haven't had a second.
What, you don't want to talk to me?
And say what? It's been said, Harry. For both of us.
Yeah, well, let's say it again, you know? Give it another shot. Maybe it'll work out this time.
Harry, don't.
I missed you.
I haven't been able to track all the payment transfers. They're highly complex, designed to confuse and conceal.
Bottom line is that Von Schnappi's been buying off people, politicians, public officials, police, military brass, all over the world.
This confirms a global conspiracy. I'm convinced there's a connection.
2 senators, 4 congressmen, CEOs of 4 major corporations, even the Secretary of Commerce, Bill McGuire. It's unbelievable.
I'm sorry, this is absurd. Deputy Prime Minister Sir Alexander Strong? Absolutely ludicrous.
No, I'm sorry, Clive. They own him, too.
You realize the ramifications?
Harry, you've been had.
No, I don't think so.
Look, I know Alex Strong. He'd never let himself be bought. This whole list reeks of disinformation.
I know my brother. He would not make a mistake like this if people's lives were in jeopardy.
Harry? Harry?
How far do you think you'd get?
Harry, what?
Harry, what is it?
I'm fine. Just a bad headache, nothing else.
Well, knowing you, Harry, you probably haven't had a good night's sleep or a meal in days.
All right, so I'll tell you what. I'm going to go home and shower and shave, and I'm going to take you out to dinner.
Make that a nap in the shower, and we'll see you about 8.
This is not the time to be making plans for dinner. I want you to follow up on everything we got so far.
Especially where the Deputy Prime Minister is concerned. This is top priority.
I'm fully aware what the priority is. Good night, sir.
Look, I'm not going to be good to anyone tonight, so let's everybody take the night off. I'll see you in the morning. After you.
No, after you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Thank you. That was nice.
What?
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 Go ahead, tell her.
Well, he said I wasn't to go near you.
What? All right, can we just cut the sibling rivalry and get down to the matter at hand? I just want you to consider...
I'm watching you.
Harry.
I'm listening.
I just want you to consider what Morrow was saying about disinformation.
What, you don't believe him either?
No, I'm not saying that. It's... Harry, even I have trouble accepting some of the names on that disc.
Well, you don't think I did? You don't think I've been over and over this in my mind? I have. And it's true. And you're just gonna have to take a leap of faith with me.
I'm willing to do that. But you have to face it, the credibility gap for Morrow and some of the others is too great. It's something you have to deal with.
I believe you. But she's right, because if they don't believe me, then no one will, except for you.
All right, why don't we go back to the very beginning? Why didn't they search it for weapons?
Because I was on a business trip, and why would they want to hassle me?
Harry, you know that's not good enough.
They did search me. They took my gun, but I had another one. An aluminum one hidden at my back.
Look, the bottom line is, did von Schnabel accept your cover as an arms dealer?
Yes.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive.
All right. Let's go over exactly how you got the disc and how you escaped, okay?
All right. I want the list of all the people in the world you're buying off. Everyone. I want the payroll.
Now he's really in it. He has to do exactly as you tell him, or bang, he's dead. So it's over to the computer, and voila, the famous payroll on disk.
That's right.
No argument, no delaying tactics, no action at all from security.
I had him at gunpoint. They didn't have a chance.
Harry, they wanted you to have that information. They were happy for you to walk out of there.
Well, they didn't exactly wave goodbye.
You have to go with what he says. He's never let us down yet.
I have to think about this.
Just look at the information, sir. It's a rock-solid trail.
The payments originate with a WG-controlled account in Monte Carlo. They make the tour and wind up here. A Swiss account in the name of Magda Pike. From there, they're transferred directly into a Liechtenstein account in the name of Sir Alexander Strong.
And who exactly is Magda Pike?
We don't know yet.
Oh, I see. Another mystery.
Have one of your people check her out.
You know I can't do that. One whisper of this wouldn't just destroy Deputy Prime Minister Strong, it would bring down the whole government. So if there is a whisper, I'll know where it came from.
What?
Let me put it this way, Mr. Witkowski. Good friends make bad enemies.
Charming.
Nah, he's just protecting himself and his department.
He's also right. Nothing gets out. Nothing.
Okay. Magda Pike. Any ideas?
Not yet.
I think I know where she lives.
What?
Her name is in the London phone book.
Open it.
Is this the Claslon 44?
It is quite safe. Its concrete casing is very safe. Ah, incredible. I was there when it was buried. April 1945. It was raining, I remember. For 50 years it has lain buried in the heart of a German forest. Now, at last, we bring it out into the light.
Good. Yeah, good.
Karen.
Hmm?
I know you're going to say it's none of my business, but about you and Harry.
It's none of your business.
He wouldn't lie to us.
Well, do you believe his story about the payroll disc?
He doesn't play games.
Yes, he does. No, I know what you're saying. It's just, we go back a long way.
How far?
East Berlin. Before the wall came down, Frederick and I were undercover, and Harry was our contact.
Frederick?
My husband.
All right. Tell me, were you and Harry
Hang on.
Well...
Magda Pike?
Magda Pike. Well, well, well.
She's probably gonna stay on the main road for a while.
It's fun working with you.
Yeah, really.
You bring out the best in me. And maybe the worst.
Eyes on the road.
Takes a while to get used to driving on this side of the road.
Why do you think I asked you to drive?
Well, it's a bit more upscale.
And a bit more interesting, too.
Mm-hmm.
Hey.
Hmm? 2 hours. You know, talking about your husband makes me think that maybe Harry's been in this game too long. You see, our dad, he was your typical Irish cop, you know, in Boston. When he was killed, Harry took on all the responsibilities. He put his own life on hold to look after Mom. He's doing the same now. I think he's just giving up his life to the company.
He is.
You think so? I'm worried about him.
Ah, here they come.
Tut tut, who's been a naughty boy then?
I don't believe it. Mr. Deputy Prime Minister.
I guess Harry was right after all.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
Harry.
Yossi. What are you doing here in London?
I had to see you.
You got something for me?
Look, Harry, I go back to Prague tonight. Look at this.
Well, that's von Schnabby. Who's the other guy?
I'm almost certain it's General Weigel.
Yeah, but almost certain isn't good enough.
But that's why I'm going to Prague. My mother would never forget the face of the camp commandant who ordered the death of our entire family.
All right, when you're 100% sure, call me.
I know I'm right, Harry. This is him.
Call me. So what do you got? I got a lot. The house belongs to a Lord Cotisham. Tax exile, lives in the Bahamas. Hardly ever uses the place. She exists. Magda Pike. Married. No kids, husband's an engineer. He's away a lot. I guess they don't get on.
Looks like you and Karen have been busy.
Working. On payroll, remember?
Yeah.
The money checks out, too. Accounts are real. Cash is there. So is he.
Oh, yeah. Looks like the old deputy prime minister could be history.
Mr. Ross.
Ross?
General Bergin here. Herr Ross, it is time we increased the pressure on Deputy Prime Minister Strong. We must not lose the excellent momentum we have achieved so far.
Palmer, I have a little job for you. Press leak.
My pleasure, sir.
You okay?
Yeah.
You know, I'm worried about you. Ain't looking so well lately.
No, I'm fine.
Got something on your mind?
Yeah, Karen.
What about her?
What do you think of her?
She's an interesting woman.
A couple years ago, we had a thing together. It wasn't serious at first, and then it was, and then it didn't work out. But I want to give it another shot, so I'm asking you to back off, okay?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Don't lie to me. I know you find her attractive.
Yeah, she's attractive. But I'm not even close to her. She behaves like an iceberg. Really?
Exactly. There's a lot underneath you don't see.
Like what?
Like she was born in Prague under communism. Like her mother took her to America, you know, for the good life. 1968. Right? And when she was 21, she comes back to Europe. And she goes undercover for the company, where she meets and marries a guy named Freddie DeVries. It was the best oblation we had. Right. The Stasi found him. They kill him. And Karen was in a lot of pain, but she's a professional liar, so she buries it under her work.
Just like you do.
Birds of a feather.
So?
So I know what I'm like, and I know what she's like, and you're not like that. This job destroys people, and I don't want to see you get hurt.
I appreciate the warning, but I'm not you, Harry. You know, I couldn't do the job that you're doing. I'm just... Hey, Harry, what is it?
No, nothing. It's all right.
Harry, what is it? Something wrong. Harry.
Harry. I'm telling you, I don't need this. I don't need a CAT scan. Don't need blood tests.
Come on, Harry, hold still.
You shut up. I'm telling you that there was nothing wrong with me.
It's gonna be okay.
Let go!
You're out of line, bro.
All right, you back off. Do you understand me? There was...
Stop acting like
you
a jerk.
Back off!
Look, would it help if I got Karen?
Back off!
Harry!
How long have you been involved with Deputy Prime Minister? Mrs. Pike? Mrs. Pike?
Look, I'm sorry, but I can't speak at the present time.
Sir Alexander Strong has not commented on the allegation that huge amounts of money were being funneled to him from Mrs. Pike via an offshore account in Liechtenstein. This fresh scandal is engulfing the government in yet another humiliation.
Strong. Yes, Prime Minister. Of course. I'll be there immediately. I understand.
I think you'll have to go, Alex.
I can't see any alternative.
Magda Pike and I have been lovers for about 3 years. This is hardly news to you. In any case, I'm going to marry her. Quite soon, her husband's agreed to a divorce. It's really quite unspectacular.
But what about these bloody bank accounts?
I'd like to say something on that, Prime Minister. It's perfectly possible to set up offshore accounts in someone's name without that person being aware of the fact.
Is it?
I had no knowledge of them. Worried about the headlines, are we?
Well, yes.
So you should be. It's not just my reputation that's at stake, it's yours. Show 'em a little backbone, Jim. Tough it out. You'll be amazed at what it does for your popularity rating.
I've consulted with colleagues, Prime Minister, and the feeling is that if we respond immediately, we can limit damage to the government as a whole.
If you lose me, you'll end up with Ross. Isn't that a worse alternative?
I'm sorry.
In that case, you'll have to sack me. I won't resign.
For God's sake, Alex.
I'll be free to challenge you for the leadership. That's precisely what I'll do.
Think of the consequences.
I have. I'll win.
The outrageous scandal involving the Deputy Prime Minister is further proof that moral standards in this country have declined to a new low, threatening the very fabric of society itself.
Who the hell
We are now
leaked that?
surrounded by a rotting infrastructure that is feeding upon itself. Why? To the left.
Yes? Harry, this is Kroger. Listen carefully. You've done well with the payroll. Now it is time for you to proceed Tower Bridge. At 5:30, you will take the next step.
Other than the complete and utter breakdown of every unit of civilization.
Aye. Leave a message. I'll call you back as soon as I can.
Harry, it's Drew. I'm sorry about the other night at the hospital. I was a jerk. I'm with Karen. We're coming over. We've got to talk.
Aye. Leave a message. I'll call you back as soon as I can.
Harry, Yossi, it's all confirmed 100%. But there's more. I have to see you. Come to Prague right away. Call me.
Tell us their goals, because they have them.
Harry!
Drew, could we meet?
I think you're right. It's a meet.
What's he doing?
Harry, no! Harry! Harry!
No, there's nothing you can do!
sorry. It's procedure.
Really? Well, did you find anything?
This?
Payroll Tower Bridge 530. Payroll was Harry's code for this case.
It doesn't fit. You'd never just leave information lying around like that.
It does if he sensed a problem. It reads like a mate. And if he got hit, we'd know where and when.
But we saw what happened.
Did we? Got anything else?
2 messages.
Well, one's from me. Where's the other one?
Harry, it's Drew. I'm sorry about the other night at the hospital. I was the jerk. I'm with Karen. We're coming over. We've got to talk.
Leave it.
Harry, this is Yossi. It's all confirmed 100%. But there's more. I have to see you. Come to Prague right away. Call me.
Joseph Perelman, one of Harry's crazy stringers. Total loser. Yeah? Good, we'll be right there. Coroner, they're ready for the autopsy. You want to be there?
No. Call me.
It's time we left. I'm really sorry.
I don't think I'm going to be able to get through this.
I'm sorry, Drew. I should have let you go to him.
I've just got one question for you, Karen. Do you think Harry could have committed suicide over you?
Of course not. No. Look, Drew, we were great partners. We just should have kept it that way.
You always wanted to be older. Now he's dead. I guess you don't get any older than that, do you? I can't believe he's dead. With me, you brought him into this work. This C.IA, Central Intelligence Agency. How stupid could you get? These things. It's you.
My God, Drew, that's Frederick. We were all in Amsterdam. A long time ago.
You look incredibly happy.
I was.
Our mother's ring. His keys. He didn't take his gun. His keys and his gun. He wouldn't have gone anywhere without his keys or his gun.
Schnauber, just in time. I think you will enjoy this. Trudy, takes us to cell 6. Monitor.
Who is it?
Ex-Stasi agent, I think. Courtesy of Kruger.
He's been deprived of food and water for 12 hours. Thirsty, you see, huh? Yeah. And now we will assess the effectiveness of our antidote.
It is the only way to conduct an accurate experiment. Don't be so sentimental. He was only an agent.
We got a tail. Do we follow procedure?
And lose them? No, this could be the break we need.
Don't harm the girl, okay?
What are you doing?
Drop it! Go on, drop it!
Freeze!
Koski, we got some garbage down here for you to collect.
And I can tell you, Mr. Ambassador, that Her Majesty's government deeply deplore this witch hunt against Sir Alexander Strong. Speaking of the Deputy Prime Minister of England, who I can assure you is completely innocent of any neo-Nazi affiliation whatsoever.
Nobody wants a witch hunt, Clive. I'll look into it. I'll inform you of anything I find out. I promise you, Clive.
Thank you.
Darling. Well, Sorensen's over there.
James, you look like the ambassador of bad news. What's wrong?
Now I'm getting pressured by MI6 over this neo-Nazi payroll list business. Why won't you tell me anything? I'm being made to look a fool here. I don't know if the organization exists, never mind who might be involved in it.
With all due respect, James, the way we're handling this situation with regard to your position is fully consistent with my experience as an intelligence officer.
By keeping me in the dark, is that what you're saying?
It would be a shame if you and I were to conflict at what could be a crucial point in the security of our country.
Yes, Wesley. Indeed, it would.
You all right?
I wish I'd taken that position in the Caribbean.
Nonsense. Careers are made during moments of crisis.
Sore ulcers.
You mustn't let those cloak and dagger buffoons keep you out of the loop. You must control the situation. Everything that happens in London is ultimately your responsibility. Take it.
Wes, anything on Harry's autopsy?
They just called me. It's what you thought. He didn't die from the fall at Tower Bridge. He was shot with a 9mm Heckler & Koch. And the blood samples aren't pretty either. Look, high levels of barbiturates, opiates, hallucinogens. Some cocktail, huh?
Animals.
It gets worse. The doctor reckons if Harry hadn't been so obstinate, they might have been able to come up with a antidote in time.
Really? Look, obviously, we're going to have to start working on the outside of normal channels on this one.
Officially, I don't like the sound of that.
But you see, everything points to high-end vulnerability on the supercomputer. How else did they find out about Harry's cover as an arms dealer? His moves, everything, the whole shebang.
I'll have Wachowski check it out with Okuro.
The thing is, not only did they want Harry dead, they want to keep Karen alive.
I don't follow.
Well, the shootout. They could have killed her, but they didn't. Why?
Well, maybe she had some information they need.
Or maybe they're trying to set her up for something else.
Harry, this is Yossi. It's all confirmed 100%. But there's more. I have to see you. Come to Prague right away. Call me.
This is getting us nowhere. I never understood why Harry wasted his time with him.
Harry never wasted his time. No, there must have been a reason why he kept in touch with Perelman. We should go to Prague and check him out.
No, I'm going on this one alone.
I'm responsible for Harry's death.
Since when?
You wanted to stop him. I said stick to procedure.
We're just doing your job.
Then give me the chance to finish it.
Looks like you got it.
Wait. It's not a good idea. You're emotionally involved, both of you. She and Harry had an affair. We should send someone else.
Excuse me. That was 2 years ago. I think I'm perfectly capable of handling this. Besides which, I'm the only one who knows what Perelman looks like.
As head of London Station, I'm saying send someone else.
There's no way you're taking me off this case. I can handle it. With Karen backing me up, I...
Overruling you. You two, on your way to Prague.
Check the guy on the postcards. He seems to be taking a heck of a long time making up his mind.
We also seem to have an art connoisseur who suffers from the same chronic indecision.
Got him. Question is, how did they get us? How could they have known we were going to meet Perelman here?
Someone on the inside. Same one who exposed Sir Alexander Strong. He's here. He's on the bridge. I think they've spotted him. They're after him.
Weg hier!
My house. It's there.
Come on. Yeah.
The old man sitting on the right, that's Weigel. SS General Hans Weigel.
This is very sensitive material. Do you have a safe house?
You're in it. We've been here for years. Never a problem.
Weigel was commandant of the concentration camp Yossi and I were in. The last one. Here, take 2 of these.
What are they?
A homeopathic remedy. Yossi was too young to remember him clearly. But I knew him the minute my son showed me the photograph. There are some faces you don't forget. Here. Put those straight in your mouth. Don't touch them with your fingers or they won't work. In a way, Weigel was the worst because he was such a gentleman. I know it's hard to understand, but it's true. He was elegant.
Weigel was with Hitler in the Berlin bunker at the very end. After Hitler killed himself, Weigel disappeared.
And ever since then, everyone's been looking for him. Wiesenthal, Mossad, German government. Not just because he's a war criminal, but because they know he's chief of the Brudenschaft, the organization they formed just after the war to protect themselves. And the Nazis had money, millions, mostly gold, looted by the SS.
I have a file on von Schnapp. There. Weigel and the Bruderschaft, they paid for the takeover of the corporation. They put von Schnapp in place. It's a front for their operations. There's more. Von Schnapp changed the name of the company. Do you know what WG stands for? Wiedergeburt. That's German. It means rebirth. There. Look. Look at the logo. Look at it carefully. A swastika. Where will you stay tonight?
I know the perfect place.
I've scanned the data handlers in the personal archive files to give us access priority readouts in the program. The big codes you see to the right...
Please, Mr. Akaru, cut the technobabble and give me the bottom line.
What I'm trying to say is, there's only one person who had access to the combination of codes necessary to access the specific information.
Are you absolutely sure?
My program does not lie.
This house has been in my family for generations.
An heiress, are you?
No, not exactly.
Who's this?
That's my great-grandfather. He built this house. And here he is again. Old Testament patriarch surrounded by the family.
Quite a tribe.
And we're, let's see. There's another one here. Oh, this one was taken in 1927. See the little girl there? That's my mother. She was the only one to survive. beautiful, isn't it?
It sure is.
You know, when I was a kid in America, my mother used to talk about this place. It's like a fairy tale. My mother died about 5 years ago. So this house is all I have left in the family. You know, when the war started, the Nazis took it. When the war ended, communists took it. And now I've got it back again. My only regret is that Frederick never saw it. You know, we used to talk about living here and raising a family. It's one of the many dreams I had. Are you hungry?
Sure. Shall I give you a hand?
No, it's okay.
Karen? 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 Karen! 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 Karen!
Welcome to Wiedergeburt, Mr. Reese.
Thank you.
Perlman?
More unrest and rioting in the streets of London today. No terrorist organization has claimed responsibility, and the government has pleaded for calm.
6 strategically placed vehicles, allegedly containing high explosive devices, were reported to the police by an as-yet unidentified terrorist group just before the early morning rush hour today. All the devices turned out to be a hoax. Sir Alex, why is the government standing by amidst this running discontent?
Well, first, let me say that I don't agree with your premise. The government is not standing by.
Bogged down by petty bickering and scandal in both houses. The Prime Minister must go.
Although I would personally take a stronger approach, I can assure you that the Prime Minister is doing the best he can under the circumstances.
Let me tell you something about the British people. The British people have had enough. They've had enough of guns, they've had enough of crime, and they've had enough of terror. And they've had enough of a government that whinges on about civil liberties, while the ordinary voter is afraid to be on the street after dark.
Hunt down these animals, and instead of rewarding them with stays in 5-star luxury prisons, hang them at the end of a very long rope. Well, that's just the
Brilliant.
motion.
Who needs democratic process when you've got rope?
Believe me, we have the same rhetoric in the States.
Drew.
Where have you been?
I've had a few surprises in the last few hours.
Lathan, come in right away, both of you.
It may not be so easy. Our friend has gone sightseeing.
That is exactly what we were afraid of.
From the inside. How long to get them open? Must be out of here as soon as possible to stick to his plan. Leave him to rot.
Come!
I just don't buy that, I'm sorry. I know everything you're saying to me hangs together, but she wouldn't do it. Karen would rather lay down her life than go over to the other side.
Well, according to your report, she didn't exactly lay down her life in Prague. In fact, they went out of their way to miss her and hit you.
Mr. Witkowski has a point. It doesn't add up. Or rather, it does. She gets you to this house by the lake, spins you some yarn about the Holocaust, and then she vanishes.
She was kidnapped.
What? By driving herself out of there?
I'm not sure about that.
There's a lot about Karen DeFries that's not on file. She was our mole in the old East German intelligence for a while. Some rogue elements may have reorganized and be out for revenge.
Or they're recruiting, huh?
What if they're doing to Karen what they did to Harry?
Harry Latham was a great man. He was a man of many parts. To his colleagues gathered here, he was professional, reliable, and a patriotic American. In the difficult and confused moral climate and landscape that we work in, he was a defender of individual liberty. He did not have children of his own, yet he was a great family man. He was kind, supportive, caring. Perhaps he even took his responsibilities a little too seriously. His friends will remember the strength and joy of his spirit. To me, he was all these things. He inspired me. We inspired each other. Goodbye, brother and friend.
Forward! Forward! Ready! Eight! Four! Eight! Four! Eight! Four! Order! Order!
Mrs. de Vries?
General Hans Bergin.
Yes.
I have reason to believe we have finally allayed any fears you had about our intentions.
Things have become much clearer in the last 24 hours.
You see, we are not the irrational lunatics many people believe.
I'm looking forward to setting the record straight with my colleagues back in London before it's too late.
We have nothing in mind but the salvation of civilization.
I know. I understand.
Herr Kroger will escort you to London immediately. Meticulous preparation, the precision of our planning are at last paying off. We are now ready to launch the next phase of our operation, an assault that will plunge the population into further bewilderment and panic. In the aftermath, our most carefully chosen supporters will move firmly into positions of influence. One man deserves credit for planning every detail. He alone took the responsibility of placing the dream of the Führer within our grasp. It is upon him that the future of the Bruderschaft rests. Our leader, Frederick de Vries.
Gentlemen, you have heard the cries of those around the globe demanding that we take up the sword of global order. We stand ready!
Like many so-called democratic countries of the industrialized West,
Our central command post. Here we will control and monitor the final phase of destruction and disorientation amongst our enemies.
at the very time when it is most needed. This dependence and blind faith that the entire community
Gentlemen.
places on a continuous resource supply.
We will instigate a series of incidents which in the short term only will produce mass confusion and even greater political and economic chaos. These efforts will culminate in Operation Apocalypse, exercise designed to immobilize the so-called democratic Western world. It will be devastating. An unseen army attacking one of the most vital elements of life itself. People will be terrified and outraged. Many will die. The government will be blamed for its inability to protect the people. As politicians fall, our people will take their places with assurances that they have the knowledge to prevent further loss of life and to restore stability and order. Herr von Schnaber.
We have already made considerable inroads into the police force, the military and government, setting the stage to destroy what little credibility remains within their ranks, clearing the way for new leadership among our supporters, namely Winston Gross.
I am honored. I look forward to the task in the sure knowledge that I shall be guided and inspired by your vision. Herr de Vries!
Our followers alone will have access to and the knowledge of how to use the antitoxins required.
When will this final phase take place?
Operation Apocalypse will start in 12 days' time on the 13th at 4 p.m. The capitulation of Great Britain is just the foundation stone in our construction of a new world order. The great prize, gentlemen. America.
Sieg! Heil! 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 Sieg! Heil!
Thank you. Yeah. That was Prague Forensics. Perlman and his mother were shot with a 9mm Heckler & Koch P7.
That's the same caliber that took out Harry.
They're faxing pictures of the bullet casings. We'll match it up.
Probably the same bastard has been trying to kill me and not kill Karen for whatever reason.
You never should have gone to Prague together in the first place. Maybe next time you'll listen when I say something's a bad idea.
And if you had told me you suspected she was a mole, I might have ruled differently.
Any luck with the photo fit files?
No. And I've been over them 100 times. You know what's weird? Nobody here knew about Karen's house. But they did. Nobody here knew about Perlman. But they did.
That's right, because you led them straight to both places. If you'd have had a wits about you...
Gentlemen, you go to the canteen and cool down.
Witowski, you're full of it.
Yes. What? I don't believe it.
What's up?
That was Morrow. The Deputy Prime Minister's just resigned.
So it'll be back to America soon.
Will your husband go along with it, do you think?
Of course. He'll go along with anything I want.
Yes. You do have that effect.
Do I? Do I still have that effect on you?
Why do you say that? Do you doubt my love for you?
Well, I happen to know your former wife was here yesterday.
Briefly. On business. To get instructions. She was gone before you arrived.
But, Frederick, why did you have to involve her in this?
She's at the center of their operation. She has all the information.
I hope you won't let her come between us and ruin everything we have together. Oh, you know, I could be a real troublemaker if I wanted to.
We're just using her. In a few days, she'll be expendable.
Latham.
What?
Okay, I'll give it to you straight. We're pulling you off this investigation. You can't handle it. We feel you're screwing up.
Well, let me tell you how I feel.
Right. Now, there's no question about it. You're out of here right now without another word, or I call the Marine Guard. Crap.
never thought it would be you. Yeah, that old trick.
Drew.
I just hit the docklands.
Dispatch Section 12 to Unit 3. Alert SO-19, Divisional HQ.
They've just hit another one.
Terrorists brought the capital to a standstill today when 6 bombs exploded across the central area. London public transport systems were forced to close down entirely for a period of time. Chaos reigned as thousands of commuters were forced to use their cars or travel by bus. Political reaction has been swift, all parties condemning the terrorist action. However, the Prime Minister, Mr. Harding, has so far refused to comment on the situation.
Of course I haven't commented. Why should I give these terrorists any more publicity? That's exactly what they're after.
Pay no attention.
We now go live to the home of Winston Ross, leader of the new National Party, who is giving his reaction to the crisis.
This is exactly the kind of mayhem I have been predicting for months. A total breakdown of society leading to absolute chaos.
Should the Prime Minister call a general election?
Either that or resign, and the sooner the better. What the British people want is a forward-thinking party, morally driven, and one that is able to deal with the kinds of catastrophe that are ruining this nation. Only one party can deliver that. The new National Party. And only one man. Winston Ross.
Now just relax. Breathe nice and easy. Naturally. Great.
How does she look?
Quite normal, but it's a blood test that concerned me.
There's a problem?
The computer would give us a better analysis, but at first glance, they seem very similar to Mr. Harry Latham's contaminants.
Well, maybe this time we can do something about it.
What is it?
There's a risk involved. Before treating her, we should do some more tests. We still don't know exactly what we're dealing with. Traumazenia will counteract the worst effects, but in certain prognosis, there's a danger she could suffer permanent brain damage.
Oh, that's a risk we have to take.
Wait a minute. Doesn't Karen have a say in this?
No.
Pyroxone is a series of 3 injections. This is what I was afraid of. Her synapses are being subjected to critical stress.
You make it sound like mind warping or something.
That's not as far off the truth as you might think.
Won't that speed it up even further?
That's the risk. The drug either acts against itself and restores her to a normal wave pattern, or it intensifies to a point she... Well, there's no turning back now. She'll be okay.
No.
We were at your mother's house.
Yes.
We were on the veranda, you remember? You went to make something to eat. What happened?
There was someone behind me. And he hid in the back of the car. And he forced me to drive at gunpoint.
Where did he take you?
I don't know. It seemed like we went up into the mountains. And there I met someone else.
Where did they keep you?
I was in some kind of laboratory. And I can't see them. I can't see them because they put something over my head. And...
Did they keep you there?
No, then... That's right, they... From there... I can remember hearing seagulls. And we were on a ferry. I think we came back. It was very cold. And it was raining. I was walking down a long stone corridor. And then I was in a room and I could see flags and swastikas. And there was a very tall man. He was old and I can't remember his face.
Anybody else?
There was somebody else, but I can't see them. I can't see him because he was just a shadow. I'm sorry. I can't remember anything else.
There.
True.
Welcome back.
I'm sorry, I couldn't remember more.
Hush, you did fine.
She really must rest now.
That's in order. Sweet dreams. What's the chance of a relapse?
Too early to say, but I guess minimal.
Thank you, Doctor.
He's gonna be fine. I don't buy it. She's running us around in circles. Don't forget, she was trained by a master, your brother. I'm putting her under 24-hour surveillance for her own safety and yours.
Why? She's going to be in hospital for the next 3 or 4 days. She ain't going anywhere.
She tried to kill you. I just want to make sure she doesn't try again and do it for real. If she doesn't come up with a better story, I'm advising Langley to pull her out.
Well, that's very sympathetic of you, sir.
Mrs. DeVries. Mrs. DeVries. Mrs. DeVries, wake up. Mrs. DeVries.
Going somewhere?
So am I suspended?
No, not yet. Just under surveillance. Sorensen's idea.
Were you gonna come in there and get me?
I figured I wouldn't have to.
Always one step ahead, huh?
That's right, best place to be.
What if Witkowski's right about me?
Then I guess I'm wrong.
Or dead?
That's for sure.
Where are we going?
Prague. Visit von Schnab's factory.
The place seems deserted. There was a lot more going on when I was here. They must have cleaned the place out. This looks familiar.
I wondered if it's where they brought Harry.
Wait. Can you hear that?
Yeah.
It's you. Quick, get him some water. Can you hear me? Who did this to you? Who did this to you?
Awesome.
Who was he?
His name was Dieter Kramer. I knew him from East Berlin. He was a full colonel in the Stasi.
Whoever put him in there wanted him dead.
Now, tell me the truth. Do you think that what they did to me is making me imagine things?
Why?
I don't know. I'm scared.
Fine, come on.
What are you thinking about?
Do you remember that photograph you gave me of Harry and I with Frederick in Amsterdam?
Yeah, what about it?
We'd all gone there to get away from what was going on in Berlin. Communist sympathizers were being systematically eliminated. And Frederick was under suspicion for the murders.
Murder? Was he capable of that?
Yes. He hated them. They destroyed his entire family. But in his usual charming way, he dismissed all the evidence as coincidence.
There's no such thing as coincidence in this business.
I found that out when we got back and the Stasi turned on him. He was arrested, tortured into confessing to the assassinations, and the next day he was executed by Dieter Kramer.
Where did you get this information?
Your brother told me. He was one of the first of our people to get into their headquarters after the wall came down. He found the interrogation transcript, kept it for me.
So?
So what if none of it's true? What if the report was a fake?
This is exactly what I was talking about, Mr. Sorensen.
You represent the government.
As ambassador, I am perceived by the media as the local spokesman for the entire United States government.
They make you look stupid.
I look like an imbecile when I am asked for comments, and I don't know what to say because you haven't filled me in.
Darling.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to lose my temper like that.
A little anger might earn you a lot of respect.
I wish something would. Every time I try to find out what's going on, they draw in the wagons and they freeze me out.
Frightened little men protecting their jobs. You'd be in a stronger position if you requested a transfer back to Washington, where the big boys are.
But I just told Washington I wanted my assignment in London extended because I thought that's what you wanted.
Forget what I want. I can't stand the way these people are treating you. Let's see how well they play their power games with you when you're across the Atlantic. You know, I have an old friend there who might be able to help you.
Oh? Who's that?
No one you know. Yes. It's time to set our sights on America.
was a wasted trip. Accomplishing nothing. If anything, we lost ground.
No, we haven't, and we're going to keep on pushing. I'm going to get that piece of wood we found put into carbon analysis. I'll phone you from the office.
Drew, this is a crazy plan. They're never gonna buy it.
Yes, they will.
And as for me hiding out at this hotel...
Listen, you're registered under Mrs. Danvers. You go to your room, you put on the Do Not Disturb sign, you stay put. It's important, Karen.
Right. I'll be here.
Take care.
You too.
She's checking into the Britannia Hotel.
Good. Stay close. In my opinion, Karen de Vries is of no further use to us.
That will be for Herr de Vries to decide.
He is allowing personal consideration to cloud his judgment.
He is in charge of this operation, not I. And certainly not you. What's now, Bob?
You knew she was restricted, Latham. You knew she tried to give us a slip, so why didn't you stop her?
From what?
Getting away from us.
She didn't.
What?
She was with me. I had her under surveillance.
What are you trying to pull?
Look, it was obvious she'd want to return to Prague. They brainwashed her like they brainwashed Harry. She figured it happened on his last trip there.
You believed it?
Sure, I figured the same thing.
Then how about this? She slipped through security because she knew her cover was blown and it was time to run. Unfortunately, she ran right into you.
She could have got away any time.
She didn't have to, did she? Because you never even tried to turn her in. In fact, you paid for her plane ticket to Prague, so she figured she could still play you for a sucker.
Then why did she come back?
I haven't finished. You run into this Stasi character, Kramer, who maybe knows something. But while you're out of the room fixing him a glass of water, he dies.
We couldn't save him.
Yeah, but it's still kind of convenient, isn't it? Especially in light of the fact she knew him. But does she volunteer that little piece of information right away? No, you gotta pry it out of her. Get real, Latham. She's working for the opposition, and she has been all along. You've ended up with nothing. Bring in Karen de Vries, Britannia Hotel. Registered under the name of Mrs. Danvers.
Rescind that order. It's unauthorized.
Latham, you are seriously out of line. Be in my office in 10 minutes.
Drew Latham was supposed to be killed. The girl was supposed to take the fall. That was the plan, and it hasn't happened. So I want more money.
How much?
$500,000.
$500,000. Too much.
$500,000. Cash. Or I tell them everything.
Don't be foolish. Call me tomorrow morning.
Yes, Drew.
I'm still on Wachowski's tail. He's cut the wires on the phone so his calls can't be traced. It's gotta be him. Remember, I was the only one who knew that Karen was staying in that hotel registered under Mrs. Danvers. And only he could have corrupted the computer files. It's gotta be him.
Now keep me posted.
Right. Goodbye.
Mrs. de Vries.
This is what I want you to do. Answer the door.
Mrs. de Vries. A letter for you.
Frederick.
I wanted to see you so much.
Why?
Because you're still my wife.
The man that I loved is dead.
Nothing's changed. Our vision of the world, our commitment to the future, it's exactly the same.
I thought we were committed to each other.
You always were so incredibly naive.
I was honest.
Then remain honest with yourself. You want strategic stability around the world, so do I. You want to rid the society of all the problems that threaten it? Drug barons, crime syndicates, international terrorists, fundamentalists who threaten to fill the power vacuums. So do I. I want to restore order. Only National Socialism can work, and only with the right leadership. Come, join us.
Adolf Hitler killed 6 million Jews, 20 million Russians, my mother's family, and your parents.
Have you been able to recall our meeting of a few days ago?
No. I seem to have blanked it out.
The result of Dr. Troutman's excellent drugs?
I don't think it's chemical. I think it's psychological.
You're coming.
Go ahead. Kill me.
Yes. You always like to live dangerously. But I need hardly remind you that luck eventually runs out for anyone who plays that way. Now, if you'll excuse me.
Morrow?
I'm at the rendezvous. You can't miss it. It's 4 large chimneys south of the river.
Got you. The old Battersea Power Station.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a meet. And guess what? Karen is here.
We'll be with you right away. Let's hope he doesn't kill someone.
What's she doing here?
There is no cause for concern, Mr. Witkowski. No one is going to kill you. You are far too useful. Your money.
Wait a minute. Latham. I want him dead.
He will be taken care of when the time is right.
And the girl.
Of course. We sent him the same invitation. You struggled. You shot him. You panicked. And you ran. They will find you wandering around here. You are already under suspicion. And there will be this, which they will discover at Witkowski's house. Details of your offshore accounts. It seems you are a very rich woman, Karen.
Drop your guns!
I told you to stay at the hotel. What happened?
It's Frederick. My husband, Drew, he's alive.
Well, you're a big hero, don't you? Fighting for your cause, protecting your colleagues. So stupid. You must understand that eventually you're going to have to capitulate. Continue. Don't stop until I say.
Stop it.
No! Stop! 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 Ah!
You got something to tell us? Or would you prefer a visit to the air deprivation tank?
All right. They're going to assassinate your Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister is now arriving to officially open the new harbour exchange. In spite of obvious security risks, he has refused to call off this official engagement, although the presence of security is very evident.
Ramage.
Area not secure, sir. Advise PM to abort.
Right.
This way, please, sir. Prime Minister. Tell us, Prime Minister. Are you not concerned about the gaining popularity of Mr. Winston Ross from the new National Party?
Out of the question, Commander.
Sir, I
We
absolutely...
continue as scheduled.
At least let me clear the area, sir.
A lot of people have come here today to see me unveil that plan. That's my job. Yours is to make sure that nobody stops me. I suggest we both get on with it.
Sir?
When are you going to call a general election, Prime Minister?
Are you ruling out a referendum, Prime Minister?
In politics, one never rules out anything.
Are you planning on a cabinet reshuffle?
Questions later. It is a particular pleasure for me to be here, because this building, in many ways, symbolizes the exciting changes that are happening in Britain today. The new harbour exchange represents an investment of over £80 million. An investment in British enterprise British expertise and the British working man and woman. I am proud to declare it open.
Prime Minister, I think it's on the ground. Get in his shot! Get in his shot!
Von Schnaub's clothes are here in forensic.
You should really let the CIA take it.
My department is ultimately responsible.
Look, you guys, does it matter who it is?
Who's responsible for this, Commander Ramage?
We're looking into that, sir.
Quite. But in the meantime, I think we should take care of him, don't you?
Button missing. So,
What's this?
Thames River Cruises, Lambeth Pier, Westminster. 10 o'clock.
Maybe I'm wrong, but von Schnaub never struck me as the tourist type.
All right.
Well, von Schnaub couldn't have been going on a sightseeing tour. It's only 5 minutes from Lambeth to Westminster.
Why would he only go one stop? It doesn't make sense.
Perhaps he was meeting somebody out here. They wouldn't be overheard.
But if it was a meeting, who with? Why?
No sign of DeVries. What's he really up to?
He's taking advantage of a bunch of fanatics to seize power for himself. He's come up with a gimmick. Something to dazzle them all and make them believe in him.
Like convincing everybody that he's dead?
Work with me.
How did he pull that off?
That was easy. Communism was crumbling. Everybody was making deals. He could have paid somebody to fake the reports of his death.
He bought Wachowski, too. Karen. Do you have affairs with all the men you work with?
Sometimes I make an exception.
Kiss me.
What?
I need you to kiss me.
Would you like to explain to me why you felt it necessary to do that?
I have a hunch why von Schnaub wanted to be on this boat. 2 of them, actually. They're at the back. Take a look.
Well, why don't I just find a discreet way of seeing for myself? Oh, let me see again.
Westminster is buzzing with fresh rumors about who's behind German magnate Ulrich von Schnaub, the man who attempted to assassinate Prime Minister Harding. It's no secret that many members of Harding's own party are deeply unhappy with the way he's handled recent terrorist incidents, and they feel this has finally come home to him with the attempted assassination. However, recent opinion polls would seem to disagree. Harding's popularity has risen a whopping 12%. Thus confounding his critics.
That'll delight the people who are trying to kill you. The whole plan is completely backfired.
Yes, but I could have done without the experience. Thank you very much.
Are you ruling out a referendum, Prime Minister?
In politics, one never rules out anything.
Yes? Herr Ross.
I presume you've seen the polls.
Of course.
Precisely what you said wouldn't happen has happened. The stupid public have rallied round the Prime Minister instead of seeing him for the weakling that he is.
Calm down. It's not a problem.
It is for me. I'm doing everything I can to honor the demands you have placed upon me. I have substantially eroded public confidence in the present government and simultaneously won over more and more votes. It's very disheartening to have everything reversed so quickly.
What you must understand, my dear friend, is that you are a part of a far greater plan with ever-changing priorities. Your efforts and loyalty, however, are always appreciated.
I'm sorry, but it doesn't feel like that from where I'm standing now. All I ask for is the same respect for me that I show you.
I can assure you that you have it. A little angry, I think.
How very childish. For someone you intend to appoint as your prime minister.
He'll calm down soon enough, then come crawling back with an apology.
If only the Führer hadn't stopped with the conquest of France. I was amongst those who advised him to continue on across the Channel, but he could be very stubborn at times.
I'm sure he had good reason, General. Anyway, we will set the record straight.
Yes, but you must be extra careful now. One more false step and...
What do you mean by that?
If I may touch on a personal matter, I have always thought it was a mistake to involve your wife, Karin, in this.
The mistake was Witkowski's. Why didn't he inform us she'd been deprogrammed?
We must assume that he would deliberately get out of this on purpose. In the meanwhile, after these games, they know you're alive. It is only a question of time before they find you.
They won't even get close.
How can you be sure? With Witkowski out of the picture.
We have massive security arrangements, and we still have Janine working for us at the embassy.
Even so, may I suggest that your wife be brought in and kept under our guard for safety, or...
Or what?
The Bruderschaft as a whole is more important than any individual within it.
The Bruderschaft is nothing without leadership. Dr. Trautmann, I assume we are on schedule.
Our technicians are completing the final transfer of 25 milliliters of Clazon 44.
Ingenious, Doctor. Don't you agree, General?
These will all be ready within 48 hours.
Our final phase. So simple. So effective. Attacking the most vital source of life. Water. In 3 days, Britain will be on its knees. And then, America.
We're live at Downing Street, where the Prime Minister, James Harding, is leaving for the House of Commons to make a major policy statement. The first since his assassination attempt 2 days ago. Many people are speculating that a rift could be developing within the Prime Minister's
you're right.
party.
We're losing ground.
Harding's about to make a big speech.
Yeah? They're running us around in circles.
A hardline approach to solve the crisis. Either way, the Prime Minister faces confrontation and tough decisions in the days ahead.
Karen, those two guys, they weren't tourists. They were using the boat to work out a trajectory. Look, Westminster.
What are you talking about?
Come on.
Keep going.
Yeah, Morrow, where is he? We'll find him. This is a major alert.
Madam Speaker, my statement today to this House and to the nation is a very simple one.
Commander Ramage! Karen DeVries! No, you've got to listen to me!
This government is going to wage war.
No one will listen to us!
War against terrorism. Martial law will be introduced. Compulsory identity cards. Compulsory fingerprinting.
Yesterday's shocking missile attack injured over 100 people, yet incredibly no one was killed. With provisional damage estimates exceeding £50 million and messages of sympathy pouring in all day from around the globe, reaction has been swift.
I've just spoken with the president. He hopes to speak with you directly later in the day. And with your permission, Latham has prepared a scenario of the situation. Latham?
Sir, what we have here is a summary of the main players in the situation as we see it. At the top, Frederick de Vries, overseeing the Bruderschaft, the WG Corporation, and what we call the unknown terrorists. Frederick de Vries. Now, I need hardly remind you that he is ex-CIA, so we have a huge file on him. It stops, however, some years ago with his alleged death. It now appears that he has reemerged as a self-proclaimed Führer and controller of these three interdependent factions. Number one, the Bruderschaft. This is the military arm. It's an organization set up after the war by the surviving top Nazi brass, and it's run by a General Hans Weigel. Two, the WG Corporation. This is the financial wing which supplies money to the Bruderschaft and run by Ulrich von Schnapp, now dead. Three, the unknown terrorists. Now they are trained and financed by the Bruderschaft and the WG Corporation. The question is, who, apart from Frederick de Vries, benefits from their actions? Winston Ross.
Now, don't be afraid of stepping on a few toes. You have the ear of the president.
Even so, I'm in a no-win situation. London says I push too hard. Washington says I don't push hard enough.
Sometimes I think you're afraid of getting into the loop in case it tightens around your neck.
Now, that's not fair, Janine. I've been kept in the dark for so long, I don't even know what I'm looking for.
It's simple. You want to be kept abreast of every development. I'll help you keep it all in focus.
Good morning, Mr. Ambassador. Sorry, but we had to start without you.
My apologies.
Mr. Ambassador, gentlemen, I just want to impress on you all the seriousness of the situation we find ourselves in. The freedom of the United States, Britain, the whole Western Alliance is at stake. We believe that de Vries and Winston Ross, his puppet, are attempting to do in Britain exactly what Hitler did in the 1930s. Attack any weakness in national security, capitalize on the unrest, and take power legally through the ballot box.
Another reason why they'd want to assassinate Prime Minister Harding. They see him as their main obstacle.
And of course, they're mad. Hitler was mad, but it didn't stop him winning that election.
Touché, Wesley. And of course, you're right, Karen. Britain was the great stumbling block for Hitler during World War II.
The conquest of Britain would only be the beginning. If they succeed, they'd be confident enough to do the same thing in the United States.
Well, we can't let that happen, can we?
That's exactly why we're here, James.
We have got to discover their agenda and prevent them from attacking again.
The world has changed for the worse. Remove the discipline of a strong state, and what's left is the rabble, screaming at one another, slaughtering one another. No better than animals in a jungle. You and our legions around the world have been chosen to get rid of these animals as we join together in Operation Apocalypse. Sieg Heil! Our vision is unified. No longer decline and fall, but rise and unite. Sieg! Sieg Heil! Sieg Heil!
All government resources have been mobilized to track down the elements behind the recent attack on the British people. We shall not rest until they have been caught and punished.
Many people feel that the government cannot deal with these pressures.
The government is meeting these challenges head-on, and there is no question that we will survive, as will the British people.
Any other comments? Prime Minister, any other comments?
reporting data. Engine Delta search running. Herr Ross?
Doctor.
Good evening.
Identified and blocked.
The key reservoirs that supply the major cities of England, Scotland, and Wales.
Doctor.
This way, please.
Siegfried, show us the detonator, please.
Not only can it be triggered remotely, but it rapidly disseminates the toxin into the water.
Bombs?
Not yet. Each vial contains a viral toxin which has been kept in a protected environment since the end of the war. This is the first chance I have to try it out.
What's the toxin going to be used for?
A highly effective method of ethnic cleansing. But the small amount that we will feed into the water system will reach a large number of people in a very short space of time.
We had to find a method of introducing the toxin into the water supply. I think you'll find the doctor's solution meets our requirements very nicely. You seem shocked, Herr Palmer.
No, I'm amazed. It's a brilliant plan.
Precisely what we need. National panic, complete breakdown.
Obviously, there will be some civilian casualties.
It is unavoidable, but I anticipate a controllable number of deaths. And of course, I have developed an antidote to protect our own people.
The final stage would be that of distribution. The vials will be transported to the reservoirs and introduced into the water in a variety of different ways, many of them quite ingenious. That task will be yours, Herr Ross.
My men have completed their training. We are ready when you are.
Come, come! Hurry, hurry! Gently, gently. Carry on.
Initializing launch sequence. Log preparing for launch. Device loaded. Drone launched.
Firebomb is in position. Let the countdown begin.
All 50 must be in place within the next 4 hours. I will then need 2 hours to align the coordinates for each device and set the high-frequency calibrations so that everything can be controlled from this central panel. I have allowed 2 hours for any malfunctions.
Operation Apocalypse has been planned for 3 years, Doctor. This is not the time for any malfunctions.
Identified and locked.
The carbon analysis dates this between 55 and 60 years old, probably buried during the war.
The question is where?
The soil samples didn't match the area where we found it, so it must have been brought to the WG.
That's right. And there are 3,152 places with the letters A-U-S-E in it. We've got to find a connection.
Well, then let's split up all this information 3 ways. That way we can cross-index all the chemical or biological companies in Germany at that time.
It's got to be a gas or a nerve agent.
Mr. Latham.
This is a restricted area.
Ambassador Cortland is the president's personal representative. He has clearance for all information, especially anything that jeopardizes American interests in a time of crisis like this.
Quite so, my dear.
I'm sorry.
I'm afraid Mr. Latham is right, sir. But I'm sure Mr. Sorensen will pass on any details as soon as we get a lead.
Excuse me. Mrs. de Vries, isn't it?
Yes.
The ambassador must know now. He must be kept up to date.
If you don't leave, I'm going to have to call Mr. Sorensen.
That won't be necessary. But please, you have to update me immediately, the moment something happens. Washington has specifically asked to be kept abreast of every development.
We'll do that, sir.
Can't believe I married a man so spineless. But Karen de Vries is still involved in this operation is shocking.
Sorensen decided.
Sorensen decided. Who's the ambassador here?
Have you noticed something, or is it just me?
What?
Well, it seems like ever since Witkowski was killed, that Mrs. Cortland has become more and more interested in what we're doing here.
I figure she's just protecting her husband.
I'm not so sure. You know, once we've cracked this, I want you to do a cross-reference index search global on our Mrs. Cortland.
Bombs in place.
Any answers yet?
Well, I've got 2 towns, Holzhausen and Wittauschenbosch, both producing chemicals and gases during the war.
Well, I've got Wirtshausen, produced nerve gas. Tom?
Firing blanks, I'm afraid.
Holzhausen supplied the Russian front with industrial chemicals. Wittauschenbosch specifically produced Claison 44. It was an experimental factory. Viruses, typhoid, plague, all sorts of nasty things. Interesting. The company producing these charming goodies was Brax Chemicals. It sounds familiar.
That's a company von Schnaab bought and changed to WG.
Which means that the crates could have contained Claison 44 or some derivative of it.
Or something more dangerous. Biological. Dr. Hans Trautmann. He served under Mengele, and they both disappeared into thin air. Wiesenthal's been looking for them for years.
Whatever was delivered to WG must have ended up somewhere. I bet you it's here in England.
And they're going to use it soon.
This may interest you guys. Come and check this out. The normal codes aren't getting around it.
Let me give it a try. Okay. Voila.
Wait, how did you do that? Give.
Access denied, Tom. Sorry. Janine Cortland, Columbia University think tank, PhD and full professorship in computer science. In 1989, she began a Washington consulting job where she met and married the recently widowed ambassador to Finland, James Cortland.
That stuff's unclassified. Why was it protected?
Well, it seems her, shall we say, lobbying techniques are quite extraordinary. Mother, Christiana, at age 10, sent to Medford, Mass. To live with Aunt and Uncle. 8 years later, married Klaus von Klunes.
Try Klunes. Access denied.
It's not letting me in. It's another code. It's weird. Somebody's got at this.
What's the problem?
Well, somebody doesn't want us to know Janine's father. Somebody's blocked it, but who?
Bukowski?
It's a good guess. What was his encrypt?
Here. I don't understand.
Maybe it's just been buried too long. Let me try the old code. Klaus von Klunes, brilliant young student. At age 18, he was one of hundreds sent under alias by Hitler to the U.S. to lay a foundation for the Fourth Reich. At university in Medford, Mass., met and later married Christina Weigel.
Weigel?
The Bruder-Chef connection.
That's right.
You mean Janine's whole family were Nazis? No wonder it was hidden so long.
Explains everything.
Including why she wanted Cortland to snoop on us.
Only one way to find out. Mr. Ambassador, is Mrs. Cortland with you? No. Well, there's something you need to know. We're coming straight up. She's flown.
Now listen, she must have said something that could give us a clue.
Didn't. No. To be honest, I'm in such a state I can hardly remember anything.
If you have any doubts, read these.
Later. Later.
Didn't she tell you where she was going?
No, she often goes to a health farm in the West Country.
What's it called?
I don't know. My secretary, perhaps she... Are you trying to say that... Has something happened?
We're telling you, Mr. Ambassador, that your wife is a traitor.
You have to face the possibility that you may never see your wife again.
That there have been no reports or discoveries of any of the vial bombs. Installation has been 100% successful.
Excellent, Doctor. Your finest moment so far. Years of planning, the meticulous preparation, all finally paying off. It is time for you to call another press conference.
It would be my pleasure.
At which time you will play our trump card. You will expose a cover-up of monstrous proportions. You will reveal that the government knew of Operation Apocalypse before it began, but did nothing to stop it. Accuse the Prime Minister of cowardice. Implicate the police and the security forces in a deliberate failure to confront a crisis. Pour oil on the fires of anxiety so that an inferno of panic blazes across the country.
How can they know? We have done everything in our power to prevent such a leak.
We are only suggesting that the government knew, and that they have been sitting on their hands doing nothing. Their credibility is so low, no one will believe that they were only informed today.
A brilliant move. I shall rise to the challenge.
As we speak, governments of several Western countries are viewing warnings of imminent disaster on videotapes that they received today.
But by revealing our plan, we present the possibility of some last-minute intervention that would ruin everything.
How specific were you? They can mobilize quickly. They could close the reservoirs. There is still plenty of time.
No, there isn't. They cannot stop us now. It's too late for the delaying tactics that they love so dearly. The last-minute cabinet meetings, the urgent consultations with allies, the promises that the situation will be brought under control. They'll be too busy trying to save their own necks, if the water hasn't killed them already, of course. You are not enthused about our impending coup, Palmer.
I never realized how many innocent people would suffer pain.
There are no innocent people. There are only the weak and the strong, those who oppose us and those who work with us. Which one best describes you?
I'm here to serve my leader.
We are all here for that purpose.
You are here to serve the Bruderschaft. And to that end, Ross.
Palmer.
At 4 p.m. on the 13th of this month, Operation Apocalypse will change the world.
The 13th, that's today. We've got 85 minutes.
Yeah. Clive. Yes, this DeVries all right. As far as we're concerned, he's not playing games.
We need a detailed analysis.
How's everything happening your end?
The books, the furniture, anything that'll tell us where he is.
For God's sake, Wesley, of course we are. We're checking delivery times, messenger services, everything.
For too long, and now, like Big Ben, time has run out. Always remember, you were given ample warning.
It's a hoax. It's a bloody hoax. He's toying with us, talking in riddles, for God's sake.
Prime Minister, both Sorensen and I are urging you to put the military on full emergency alert.
It's a waste of time. We are facing a deadline less than an hour and a half away. It could take us longer than that just to work out what the hell he's talking about.
But that's exactly his plan. We need to know what we're doing. We have to be ready for anything, Prime Minister. At the risk of creating panic in the streets, we must warn the public now.
No, I will not be bullied by that imbecile. We put this out of sight and we say we do nothing.
And if you're wrong, what then?
Heavy battered generator on standby.
What are you doing here? You're supposed to be monitoring the situation at the embassy.
My husband was proving worse than useless. Believe me, it was time to leave.
You may have endangered the security of our operation.
What difference does it make now? Everything's going according to plan. A bigger problem, it seems to me, is your wife, who I just saw at the embassy, very busy on her computer. How come she's still around?
They managed to deprogram her. Remember, she's one of their top agents.
If she were removed from the operation, there'd be no reason to remember her at all. I'll call our connection at C.IA headquarters in Langley.
Induction loop test is negative.
I am speaking to you at a time when our country faces its greatest crisis in history. At a time when the man who governs us has neither the courage to make decisions nor the ability to lead. I have just learned of a new threat to our security.
He's seen the tape. He's in on it.
Some time
He's been
ago,
told to go public.
What the hell do we do
received
now?
Advance warning to oppose this great threat. Nothing!
It's for you, sir. Sorensen, yes.
In a blatant attempt to salvage what little chance they have of re-election, the government has decided to cover up this information and risk the consequences. Consequences that threaten us all.
Would you mind telling me what this is all about?
Langley wants you removed from this whole operation. It's not just an order, they're insisting on it.
You're kidding. Why? I know Frederick better than anybody here. I know the way his mom...
Listen, I don't have time to argue. But I'm telling you, you're making it worse for yourself. It's because you know him so well that they feel your performance might be affected.
And you, of course, rose to my defense.
You want it straight?
Yeah.
I'm thinking the same thing. So is MI6.
After all this, you still suspect me.
Put it this way, I'm not prepared to take a risk. Neither is headquarters. So we're all taking you out of the picture, so you don't have to take a risk either.
Do you honestly think I could be a traitor, or are you just trying to save your own neck?
I'm only following orders.
Interesting choice of words.
Disaster is about to happen. Only you can stop Frederick de Vries before it's too late. There's a water treatment plant a few miles west of London, Lambton. Meet me there as soon as you can. If you can't, may God have mercy on all of us.
Coordinates have been entered. Now, firing pin. Simplicity itself. It's the same principle as making a long-distance telephone call. A combination of numbers has been programmed into the detonators of the vial box. Then I punch in the same numbers. 0, 4, 2, 0, 8, 9. It's the birth date of Adolf Hitler. And let it ring 3 times. Once, twice, 3 times. The vial bombs will be fully primed to release Clason 44 into reservoirs all over England.
Doctor, General Weigel and I must be leaving now.
Of course. Have a good journey.
I'll join you at the Eagle's Nest in 24 hours.
Why have you taken her off the operation?
It was a direct order from Langley. Came from the top.
How do you know you weren't set up? Karen has proved herself time and time again. I've got to talk to her. Karen? Karen?
Mrs. de Vries, I need to talk to you.
How do I know that what you're telling me is the truth?
You don't. You just have to believe me. In there are bombs that are set to go off in less than 45 minutes. And when they do, they're going to release a virus that'll kill thousands of people all over London. And there are more bombs just like these in 50 other treatment plants and reservoirs all over the country.
We're never going to find them in time. You know that. Where are they being controlled from?
Your husband's castle, his operations center.
Where is it? Where is it?
Ugh.
Stay down!
There are bombs in the reservoirs!
Move it! You must stop them. Who? De Vries. Droog Castle.
Talk to me.
The Vries is operating on a simulator called Droog Castle. Now get a helicopter here as quickly as possible. There are bombs in all of these, and we don't have much time.
Right.
Have you checked the other reservoirs?
Over there.
Well, don't do anything till I give the word.
Karen, you're just in time to witness the final moments of my operation.
Operation Apocalypse.
Ah, so Palmer told you everything.
Frederick, what you're doing is wrong. You're going to kill thousands of people. You have to stop it.
There's no stopping. Now? I've become the ultimate professional, Karen. The head of an organization that embodies obedience, power, discipline, and authority. All harnessed to a single cause.
What cause?
Castle Drew, up ahead! Don't drop me so close. Put me back a quarter of a mile.
You're insane.
I'm sorry to hear you making the same mistake as everyone else, equating an overriding vision and purpose with insanity. Hitler was not mad. Neither am I. Saw the world as it was, so do I, a place of chaos, created by the sick idea of freedom. If you remove all the malcontents, then the world will know universal peace.
And then who decides who these malcontents are? You?
It will be obvious. It will be those people who cannot see or accept the perfection of the plan.
People like me.
You're too bright not to see it. You know you fell in love with me because I was stronger, smarter than anyone else you knew.
No, Frederick, I fell in love with you because you were kind, decent, selfless. It's only when you became the monster.
You're wrong. People fear the unknown. They love power. He who controls fear controls power, as you will see in a few minutes.
You honestly believe this?
Not even you can stop it.
Frederick!
All the primary and secondary waveband frequencies are clear and encrypted for transmission.
The point of no return. Proceed with the preliminary activation sequence.
our beloved Führer would have relished this moment, Herr de Vries.
We shall relish it for him.
You! Over to that reservoir, quick as you can!
It's gonna blow! It's gonna blow!
All right, clear the area. I repeat, clear the area. We have an unexploded bomb.
Right, evacuate all the reservoirs. Scramble.
Doctor, final pre-detonation sequence authorized, Herr de Vries.
Excellent.
No!
Drop your gun. De Vries, where is he?
Zero. 2 0 8 9.
Drop it! Out! Out! Move! Everybody out! Out!
Move!
Out!
Now!
I'll kill her, I swear it. Get the pad.
Watch it!
De Vries! De Vries! Come out, De Vries, you coward! De Vries! De Vries! De Vries! Come out!
Leave him.
He only released 2 bombs. Did you monitor them?
Yes, everything's under control. We managed to seal off both reservoirs in time. I can't thank you both enough for your part in all of this. But don't get your hopes up for any hero's welcome or anything. Officially, none of this ever happened.
What about Ross?
Ross, well, he's so mixed up in this, I think he'll be conducting any future election campaign from a prison cell. Though without this operation behind him, I don't think his party will last more than a week.
Well, let's just hope this kind of thing doesn't happen again.
Well, it's always there. We've just got to be on the lookout.
So close this time. So close.
Don't despair, Grandfather. We're not finished yet. We still have a strong following in every country across Europe. And somewhere out there, there's a new leader. We just have to find him.
You still think about your family?
Yes.
So do I. And you think you might settle down here?
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
You could get very lonely.
What about you?
Oh, I guess I'll go back to Washington.
It could get very lonely there, too.